some news with you today. I thought about introducing us as Bob and Eileen, but I think people might get confused because I might really look like an Eileen.
And I look like a Bob.
Yeah, sometimes. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about something that's actually really important and something that I might find that you would want to bookmark or save or do something so you can come back to this video at another point.
Or share it.
Or
share it with someone
it.
that needs it.
We're going to be talking about how to prepare your home to sell once the market shifts. So why I'm saying that is because, number one, we're going to assume right now that you hate your house or that you've outgrown it or that you want to move. Okay, so we're assuming that first, but there's kind of been this issue that we've run into is that you're sitting on a bunch of equity in your home. However, you have a fantastic interest rate. And so a lot of people want to wait because the interest rate is basically holding them hostage. And what we call this is the golden handcuffs. Yes, the golden handcuffs. Why? Because they're golden. Because there's money in your home and you're sitting on it, but you can't do anything with it.
I see what you did there.
Yes. So you're being held hostage. So what do you do while you're waiting for this market shift?
Well, market shift, basically interest rates coming down, right? The crazy thing is I have had so many conversations with homeowners that are stuck in the golden handcuff situation like she's talking about. I mean, countless. And they want to move. And some of it's family, some of it's they want to move out of the area, some of them want to move to a larger, more spacious home. Whatever it is, everyone's waiting. And so for that reason, we have very low inventory, right? Which is great for sellers. It's a seller's market. But a lot of sellers say, well, hey, if I were to sell, I'm going to get rid of my 3% interest rate, and then I got to buy at 7%. Like, I'm going to wait. Well, a couple things with that. We're going to get into this deep, by the way, but a couple things with that, as you're waiting, when the interest rates go down, then houses are going to flood the market. And so there are some things that we want to help you with. There's some tools that we want to give you. There's some strategies that we want to help you, not just to maximize your profit for your house, but to make sure that you're prepared to get that dream home you've been waiting for. So talk about the two types of people.
All right, Bob. Well, there's two different types of people, like you mentioned. You're either a planner or you're a dreamer. And by that, I mean, you're either a planner who's going to make a plan.
That's what a planner is.
Yes. Which those people are proactive. Okay. Those people are rare. So if you're a planner, congratulations. You're amazing. You're proactive. You are doing things ahead of the curve.
I was just dreaming. She was wondering what I was doing. I was dreaming because I'm a dreamer. I'm not proactive, not a planner.
So then that brings up the dreamers. The dreamers are reactive. So a lot of times there's in this particular, what do you call this? Landscape?
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of the word. But in home sellers, in talking in that subject, a dreamer would be someone that is like, hey, I really want to buy this other house. I'm not really happy here. So whenever that time comes, then I'll think about moving and doing that. So they're going to be waiting. So really the planner is going to be the one who makes the first move. The dreamer is the one who waits till something else moves first and then they move. And neither one's terrible. Both of them are going to get a new house. Yeah. So
but the dreamer is going to continue to send properties to their realtor and their friends always. Like they're always going to be looking. Like they're never going to not be looking. And so if you're always looking, why not be prepared for when the perfect house comes on the market?
Yeah. So the only problem with dreamers is that you're part of the majority. So you're not necessarily unique. Now, no one wants to be common. So we're going to help you be uncommon. Because what happens is all the dreamers are there with you. And when all of them see the interest rates change, they're going to want to jump in too. And so now you're dealing with competition. You're dealing with a lot of inventory, but a lot of competition. And also when we look at things like vendors and you're trying to rush to get your house ready, the vendors are going to be used up by the other dreamers. So we want to help and give you tools to switch your mindset over into the planner mode.
So before we do that, I want to hear in the chat, are you a dreamer or are you a planner? I'd love to know. I'm curious. And we want to see how many planners we have versus dreamers.
Mm.
But just to bring her point home, like when you think, boom, home run, Babe Ruth, called it. Just to bring her point home. Sorry, that's the ADD in me. Just to bring her point home, let me say it a third time.
Focus.
Let's say, for instance, like I had a conversation with a client recently, and they said, "Hey, I want to be moved in." I said, "Hey, in a perfect world, when would you like to be into your new home?" They said, "April of 2024." I said, "Amazing, great. Okay, well let's reverse engineer that. Let's plan towards that. Let's figure that out, because most people, if they want to move in April, the non-planners, the dreamers, they're the people that are reactive. They're actually going to probably like February or March start to think about selling their house. Well, you wanted to actually be in your new house in April. So if that's a serious goal that you're setting for yourself, you have to work yourself backwards. So there's a lot to that, but let me simplify it as easy as I possibly can. It all starts with the end date. Okay, I want to be moved into my new house. Great. You're going to be looking for that new house. But if you need to sell your house in order to buy a house, let me talk to you guys. If you're going to sell your house and buy another house, you actually want to work backwards where, okay, I probably need to have my house listed in January or February because the average days on market is 30 days. What that means is the time it takes from a house to be active to pending to in contract with the buyer is 30 days. So let's say that you list your house January 15th. You list your house January 15th. It takes 30 days for it to get in the contract. That's now February 15th. Then it takes another 30 days for escrow to happen, for the buyer to go through all their contingencies and buy the house. So now we're in March 15th, right? We're already almost to April. Now, what about you buying your house? In that time, you're going to be looking to purchase a house at the same time, most likely, if you need to sell your house and use those proceeds. So if that's the case, you got kind of a tight window. Now we can help negotiate for you to stay in your house probably after you sell it. That's a possibility, but the preparation is everything. So you want to be, in order to make that timeline, you want to have your house listed at the end of January. That's the latest. And so a lot of people don't think about that. And so that's kind of what we're talking about, and what we're going to get into a little bit more in depth is being prepared, preparing your house now, doing the work now so that you are in the minority and you could take advantage of the house, the dream house. When it comes up, you can actually move on it. So, we have things like financing you got to think of. We have things like preparing the home to sell. We got fix ups. You got to think about curb appeal and the time of the year. Like all of those things are present. You got the decluttering, but we're going to kind of go through these things a little more in detail to help you guys just start to wrap your mind around preparing your home so that you can not just maximize the price, but you can get that dream home and not miss out on that opportunity.
Yep. So we're going to go over, let's see how many of these: plan, price, prepare, and patch up. He pretty much went over a plan. So that's setting the timeline. So you need a plan in place, hence the name planner.
Oh.
Right? Okay. So you need a plan. You need the timeline. Sometimes it helps to just have someone come and give you the timeline because there are a lot of moving pieces, and he's very familiar with all the moving pieces and the timelines and how the days and all the things, right? So it does help to have a timeline in place. So the next thing is you need to know a price, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to know about what does your home, what would the value be of it right now? Because if you have an idea of that, then you have a big key of moving forward of what else you need.
Yeah, when you're thinking about financing, right? For instance, so if you know how much your home's value is, you know what your loan amount is, there are calculators out there. We can definitely help you with that as well. But figuring out, this is how much proceeds I have in my house that I can now talk to a lender, which we can also introduce you to preferred lender, and it doesn't cost you anything. And basically you could say, hey, well, based on my down payment or based on the amount of money I'm going to make from my sale, my proceeds, I can take that. This is how much money I'm going to have for my down payment. I can start looking at the financing options to see where the interest rates are. Pre-approvals, guys, are good for 90 days, which means if you got pre-approved today, you'd be good almost through, November, right? August, September, October. Yeah. So you'd be good through November. And all you need to do to update your pre-approval is just send in a little bit of updated information. But if you're prepared now, if a house comes available, you have all your documentation in, you're good. You don't have to worry about that. You can focus on preparing your home and getting it ready to sell. So the financing piece is a huge deal because a lot of people overlook it and they wait till the last minute. In the meantime, what are you doing? You're looking at houses online and you're sending houses to your friends and like, oh, I love this house, but you haven't even looked at the real raw numbers, which is great. I do the same thing. I love looking at houses.
Yeah, it's dreaming.
But yeah, you got to dream. But you also need to know the numbers
You do.
to see, okay, this is the type of house that I'm moving towards.
Well, I mean, if you don't know the numbers, you can be looking at $2.1 million homes and fall in love really quick and then have your dreams crushed.
Because you're like, oh, I can only afford 800,000. So that's definitely not happening. Acreage out of the question there.
So you need a plan, you need a price, which is AKA a budget, because you need to know how much you're going to be able to put down for the next house. You're going to need to know how much you're going to have available to invest in your next house. So are you going to get a fixer-upper? Are you going to get a brand new home? That new home needs new furniture.
Yeah.
For all the women out there,
we
need to refurnish this house. The old furnishings do not go with the theme of this house. I get that.
She can help with that.
Or you also need to know how much money you're going to use to fix up your current house to get it prepared. So that would be the next one, is you need to prepare. Part of preparing is decluttering. We usually tell people to remove about 75% of their stuff because there's so much. So why not get ahead to now and start kind of packing anyway, right? If you're already planning on moving, start decluttering. Every space is going to feel so good. It sucks in the moment.
And but
it feels so good when you walk into your pantry and it's all organized and beautiful, or hire someone to do it. I mean, just get it done, right? So really like decluttering, redesigning your space. Hey, these two mismatched couches have been here for years. Hey, how about you remove one of the mismatched couches?
Yeah.
Might be time. But that's going to help either way. Once you are ready to move, you have it prepared, you have it redesigned, and it's ready to go visually.
Yeah, and when you look at decluttering, some things you would think are common sense, some things aren't. That's something that we can obviously help with. We'll talk more later about that. But you have the decluttering, but then you also, the next thing you're focusing out. So we have plan, price, prepare, and patch up. So after the declutter, you might have fix-ups that maybe the honey-do list got a little long and you couldn't quite get to it, but there's always going to be things like the fence post that needs to be repaired, or the touch-up paint, or
like in our
the
house,
lighting,
the massive hole in the wall kicked in by the boys.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah. We fixed the one on the stairs, but their room is like this big.
Your dad fixed the one on the stairs.
Yes.
Let's be real. Yeah. Sorry.
Things
sorry
like that.
Pop. Yeah. So there are always things, right? So there are common things that stick out to you that need to be taken care of, right? Everyone knows that. So you start with those. But then there are other bigger ticket items, because in order for you to know and maximize your budget for the next purchase, you need to know, okay, well, how can I maximize my home sale now? How can I sell my house for the most amount of money? So creating a budget for that to do things that are going to make you more money when you sell your house. So, I always talk about this. There are things that make your house more valuable, add value. There are things that make your house more saleable, which means like more enticing for the buyer to buy it, that it makes them feel welcome. Therefore, they like the house, right? And they will buy it. But as far as value is concerned, there's the difference of the two. So what are some things, Ness, that would add to, that would make it more saleable?
Front yard things.
Touching up the front yard.
Right. Like your yard needs to look presentable in the front.
So curb appeal.
Think first impressions. Of course, adding, you're saying sellable, right?
Saleable.
So also anything in the front entryway. So you're thinking of first impressions. So the very first room that you enter, what does that look like? Looking at it from another perspective, what does it look like? Am I walking into a bookcase full of books and clutter and all the things? Or is it peaceful, enjoyable, very calm? Is it pleasing to the eye? Does it smell good? Am I walking into some funk. I mean, like think of the things as soon as you walk into a house. That's something that we always look at and always kind of change
So you
things
got some
around.
curb appeal, you got some first impressions when you walk in the door. Now, saleable would be things like replacing the carpet or touch-up paint, or maybe some lighting. Changing the lighting or making sure the lighting is all
Lighting makes a
uniform throughout.
big
Lighting is
difference.
a huge. That's probably the most underused saleable ad in selling a house is the lighting. If you can get the lighting, brighten it up, make it seem like natural light, it makes a huge difference. When the house is showed to buyers. They like it so much more, as opposed to a house that has dim lighting, maybe a lights out, and maybe you have daylight over here, and then you have soft light over here. That makes a huge difference.
So fun fact, because you all are not realtors, we actually, when we're showing homes to clients, we go throughout the house and turn on every single light before they enter the room. So most real estate agents are going to go in, they're going to turn on all the lights. They're going to notice if light bulbs are off or not working. They're going to notice if you have blue light and warm light and yellow light and all the things. So lighting really is important. And most people that are buying homes aren't thinking about that, right? It's not something you do. But in our industry, we know that lighting is key, and we will turn on every single light in your house.
And we will change the lights. There are many times I carry different light bulbs in my car, and I go and I will change a light
For our
if there's one out for our clients.
I was picturing like
Just
going into what
McDonald's.
we're showing homes, like I'm just gonna go.
No, for our clients. But I think that's a good point to think about. Is the lighting is key, and if you have one of those old gold octagon hanging lights, can you please change it? Like
With
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon has like anything that's like the old gold, not the new gold, not modern. You need to go on Amazon and you need to find a hanging light to change that, because that is a very also inexpensive thing you could do to really add to the overall vibe of the house. That really helps it be more likable by the buyers and viewing. So let's let's shift gears. Let's talk about what adds value to the house. Like, what are the big ticket items that adds value?
Bathrooms and kitchens.
Yeah, bathrooms and kitchens. Actually, funny enough, I agree with that. Bathrooms and kitchens, big time. Pools, roofs. There was actually a study done by National Association of Realtors, and they said, now I don't know how many was in the study, and this is why I'm like, I don't know if that's in this area. I think it also might be more in the luxury space, but they said that what adds the most value to a house is hardwood floors. And again, I think that's more in houses, probably in our space, like 900 and above, that would probably make a difference. But because they care a lot more about the floors for whatever reason. Buyers in that price range, the floors are a big deal.
I mean, real wood floors are beautiful.
Yeah, they are. And so, but they also said roof was number 2. So in our experience in our area in the Sacramento region, and we help families, Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado counties, we are seeing it's kitchens, it's bathrooms, it's roofs, it's AC unit, sometimes windows, depending on how old the house is, that can play a role. Mm-hmm. Those are the big ticket items. Now, we're not saying go out and replace all of these. No. Please understand. It's all about maximizing the profit. Ultimately, you don't want to pay all this money for someone else to buy the house and live in it, right? You want to pay that for your own house. So knowing which ones to make and in what order, like which things to repair or replace and in what order, is very, very, very important.
Yeah. So off of this, you might think, oh, I need to replace all the lights in my house. And so you're looking at the entryway light, but your door is so gross. Your front door, it's all scratched up. It's got rust on the knob, and it's 2 different colors on the inside. You're going to need to fix the front door. Okay. Because again, remember that first impression. So get them through the door before they, turn away. Mm-hmm. Right. So put a wreath on the door, repaint the door, do something to the door if it's jacked like that. Cause they're not going to care about the light, that they're going to be so grossed out by the door that now they're walking in like this, like, oh.
Yeah, interestingly enough, through experience, the door does shut a lot of people down. You know what else shuts people down? all of like the stucco around the door or in the entryway that's all chipped and nasty down to the styrofoam. That the seller didn't take the time to do the proper patches and painting. That's also something that really, I mean, think about it. Think about it from a buyer's perspective. Put your buyer hat on right now. Think about walking to a house, and there are things that turn you off to a house. And once you find something at the beginning, like first impression, that's not a good first impression. Once you find something, you start to look for things. It's like a snowball. You start to look for things. Oh, well,
What else
this
didn't
house,
they take care of?
yeah, this house has bad lighting. Oh, you know what? They didn't really do the touch-up paint. And oh, I see dirt in the windowsill, right? And then
You'd be amazed.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, I don't like this house. And that happens. I mean, we show houses to a lot of people over the years. And those are some of the conversations we have. Now, everyone's looking for different things. And this is this is really more of a general video to start helping you think about
Like a plan.
Yeah, a plan, guys. So when it comes to planning, when it comes to pricing, when it comes to preparing your home, when it comes to, patching up and doing fix-ups, all of these are things to think about now. And we have a couple ways that we can help you do that. Basically 2 ways. We have developed a very, I wouldn't call it intense, but intensive guide, the Max Price Home Sale System that we use to help clients sell their house for most amount of money. We have some of these processes in here to really just kind of give you an overview and just help you get that process started for yourself. We love to give that to you, and you guys can just run with it, and hopefully it's helpful for you. And then the other way is, what's the other way?
Well, the other way, Bob, is a free in-person customized consultation for your home.
And in that, you figure out how much your home is worth. Also, just in the current market, also figure out how much money you would make from your home sale. Also help you figure out the financing side of it, like what loan options are out there that you may be able to take advantage of. There's creative financing, and there are loan options where you may, if you found the right house, you may be able to purchase now and get a lower interest rate than you think. Under market interest rates, guys, those are available, right? And then we help you set a plan as far as your timeline. Okay, well, what's your timeline? We can also do a soft home inspection, which we'll be able to go through and look at your house. She is actually a designer and stager, so she'll be able to help you figure out what to declutter, what things that you can do or add in your house, and we'll be able to let you know what to remove. But then we'll also be able to say, well, based on your house and the value in other houses like yours in your neighborhood, because it's not just about your house, it's about what you're competing against, right? So it depends on what's in the market when you list your house or what the value is. But my point is, if you can prepare now, you're going to be way ahead of the competition. So we'll also be able to help you figure out what fix-ups to do to maximize profit. And if it's not going to be profitable, we're not going to have you do it. So we'll at least be able to give you a list overall of, hey, here are the fix-ups we recommend. Not only that, we have a handyman that works specifically with our clients and with our team that we can help you by getting a handyman out there to help you with some of those fix-ups. Some cases at no cost. So there are lots of options out there and lots of ways that you can get prepared. But we're just trying to help you think about your future so that you can get ahead of the curve and not have to compete with all those other people. And our whole goal here is just to help you guys. And I don't care if we help you now or you call us in February and you're like, I want to buy a house in April. We can figure that out too for you. We're just trying to help you create something now and kind of figure that out for your future. So you can download the Max Price Home Sale System Guide. You can download that below. And also as far as the consultation, just shoot us a text, a DM, an email, a phone call, whatever you want, guys, whatever's convenient for you. So many
ways.
Reach out to us and we can set something up and help you. But I hope this video was valuable for you. We are here to help you guys. Please let us know if you got any value from this video. If you have any questions about how to prepare your home specifically, just post it in the comments. We'll answer every single question. We'd love to hear from you. And we will see you guys next Wednesday.
At 1 p.m.
Yeah, at 1 p.m. Cool. We'll see you guys next week.
He was
Thanks for
filming.
tuning in.